and welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we're going to make a dish that I don't quite know what to call, but it's going to be delicious. So I've got some yellow split peas that are fully cooked here, and yellow split peas are nice. They kind of look like corn, but they're nice soft consistency. You can see these guys there. Ooh. And these have gotten really nice and soft. You can soak these beforehand or not, depending on how you like to do things. I soaked them and then I boiled them for about half an hour. Don't add salt while they're boiling like any other bean or legume. If you add salt before it's done cooking, it won't get fully soft. And this is going to be really nice because the split peas, some of them are going to stay whole and some of them are going to mix and mingle with the vegetables. So what I'm going to do next, now that these are cooked, I'm going to get ready to bake some vegetables. So I'm going to turn my oven on to about 350, and I've got some carrots and I've got some yellow zucchini. So nice color combination. I've got 3 of each. All I'm going to do is cut these up into large chunks, and then I'm going to put them into a baking dish, and I'll show you what we'll do to season them. So just chop those up, and you can do this while your peas finish cooking. Mine are already cooked. Now I've got my vegetables mixed together here, and I don't peel my carrots. What I do is I scrub them with my potato scrub brush, and I find it works very nicely for just taking that little bit of bitterness off the skin but leaving the nutrients intact. So next thing we're going to do, because these are going in the oven, they need a bit of protection. So I'm very slowly getting the olive oil up to the edge, and then I'm going to drizzle it over. And you really don't need very much here. It's just enough to protect the vegetables, otherwise they'll dry out and not cook. And the best way to cover these vegetables with oil, using the least amount of oil possible, is to get right in there with your hands. Yep, just mix them around, and this way you can get the oil coated around all of these vegetables with a minimal amount. If you use a spoon, you're probably going to wind up using more oil because you can't stir things as effectively. It's also just not quite as fun. Okay, so you get the oil around the vegetables so that they don't dry out, okay? Then what you're gonna do is sprinkle some salt on here. And same thing, if you sprinkle the salt on and mix it around with your hands, you can use the least amount possible. What the salt is gonna do is actually draw the moisture out of the vegetables, which is what helps them to cook. So what happens is the salt is drawing the moisture out of the vegetables so that they wilt and cook and get nice and soft, as we know roasted vegetables do. But with the oil on the vegetables, that moisture is not going to go further than the wall of oil that we have around the outside of the vegetable, so that the flavor stays inside this piece of vegetable, and yet it still cooks because of the salt. So there we go. Oil, then salt. Now, if you want to, you can pop these vegetables as they are, with just the oil and the salt, into the oven for 20 minutes if you haven't pre-cooked your peas. So you can do that while the peas are cooking. But since mine are already cooked, I'm going to get everything together, pop it in the oven, and just leave it be for about half an hour. So the first flavoring we're going to put in here are some fresh chives. They were just starting to pop up in the garden, so I grabbed some with the thought of making this. And I'm just going to chop them up finely. And I've got both some regular chives and some garlic chives, which are really nice. They have a nice garlic flavor. They look more like a grass, so they're flat, whereas chives are round. So if you see some garlic chives, give them a try. They're very tasty. So sprinkle your chives on your vegetables. what goes with chives? Dill. There was no dill in the garden, but I've got some dried. So I'm gonna sprinkle some of that on here. And I like dill, so I'm using a lot, but use however much you like. And then the peas are gonna go in here as well. And mine are so mushy that they're probably gonna become like a sauce, which is gonna be really nice. It's gonna add a bit of creaminess to this dish. Now, these peas don't have any salt in them because we cooked them without the salt, right? So we need to add a bit for them. And salt is not for a salty flavor here. It's so that the flavor of the chives, the dill, and the vegetables will get into the peas, because the peas on their own don't really have a lot of flavor. Okay, so that was 3 little pinches, but most of it stuck to my fingers because my fingers were wet. So I would say that that is probably, I don't know, like a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, next ingredient, my favorite, nutritional yeast, adds beautiful flavor and a little bit of extra yellowness because this dish is pretty yellow with some orange from the carrots. The oven is now preheated. If you don't have nutritional yeast, don't worry about it, it's just for flavor. Okay, so stir this around. Get the flavorings, the vegetables, the peas all mixed together, and then you're gonna pop this in the oven and let it bake until the vegetables are soft to your liking. And usually that's about half an hour. I like the zucchini to be nice and soft, but I like the carrots to stay a little bit crunchy, so that's why I'm putting them in at the same time. If you want a soft carrot, you should put your carrots in before your zucchini, because carrots take longer to cook. So once I get this stirred around, I'm gonna pop it in. I'll see you back in half an hour. Well, I lied, I'm actually back in 15 minutes to turn these over. What happens when you bake vegetables is they release their juices, and the juice goes to the bottom as gravity tends to make it do, and then what happens is the vegetables on top can dry out. So give it a stir halfway through. Right, let's see what we got. Yes, perfect. The zucchini are nice and soft, but I can tell that the carrots are still pretty crunchy. And these peas have pretty much mushed up. The last time I made this, I didn't cook the peas for as long, and they stayed quite solid and individual. And I thought, man, this would be nice if these peas just mushed right up and became like a sauce. And that's what they did. So I think this is ready to serve. And you can pair this with a nice green salad. You could serve it over a bed of greens. It has a lovely texture that will make your salad much more interesting. So I hope you enjoyed. You can find the recipe at healthyveganrecipes.net. I'm Heather, and this is Freshly Served.